Here's some quick slides, just some airproofing ideas you can come up with, or use to maybe help you out. I copyrighted these a while back only because one of our sales reps was telling us about our competitors, and I was showing them all this information, and one of our managers was telling me that I shouldn't have told him that because now he's going to tell our competitors about it. So I went and copyrighted it real quick. So anyway, I'm just going to flip through these. Feel free to pause it, and I'll just look it over, if you want to. Got a lot of time to read on, time on your hands there. Here we go. Method is simplifying information you give to your operators. This right here is an SOP binder that's put at the workstation. There's a communication scale of information you give to employees. It really helps. There's too little information, there's not enough, just right, perfect information. You get excessive and they get too much. Over here kind of falls under the overprocessing, under all the 7 deadly wastes, or waste under the Toyota production system. Go ahead and keep going here. Again, method, your SOP binder, the workstation, what all it should contain, information that you do with the quality information in there, your coding system you use, how to develop the coding system. There's a lot of different ways, so whatever works for you. You have your standard work, SOP on the, per operator. There's always a right way to do something, and also use pictures, make it easy to understand. When I was back with Trim Masters, we had the team audit team, which is Toyota Engineering Manufacturing Association. You get a bunch of engineers form a half circle around you, and they start firing off questions. And one of them made a comment about, I want to come in off the street and know how to do that operation just by looking at it. So we had to simplify as much as possible. Basically came down to worst case scenario. You got someone on vacation, someone else calls in sick, and you're using your third guy backup, and he's not too familiar with it. So anyway, that's what all this is about. Method, process, flow. This actually falls under motion. Transportation. Transportation is for your material handling. One piece flow, or just flow in all one direction. Your tool here is like a spaghetti diagram. You follow something in from your receiving dock to the staging locations. You do your parts and ABC analysis by putting the ones used the most up front or closest. Anyway, just look this over, and you can maybe get some ideas. This is your little work in progress or work in process symbol. Once you do your spaghetti diagram, you look for errors. If you start going back the opposite direction, then it's you need to change something, rearrange something there. Always use a facility map or facility drawing of your layout of your facility. Anytime you go on a trip, use GPS. You look from above view. You don't look at it from the side view, or you don't look at a bunch of words. It's always best to plan out. Same with the game plan in sports. You're looking from above. It's always best to see from the stands than it is from the sidelines. So I'm sure you get the point. Anyway, here's this one. This one is go no-go gauges. You can pretty much make any go no-go gauges for anything. So here's just some ideas on what you can make or use. This falls under weighting, so speed up your time in your QC checks. Machine information, basic, everything you need to cover for the machines. This is just like a big old spec sheet, something to follow, a guideline of what all you need to do. This takes some reading, so feel free, pause it and read on. Facility water, how to airproof all your facility water, make sure there's no leaks. Obviously, you have a lot of sensors in here for your TDS, total dissolved solids. You got your valves, make sure your valves, you label your pipes, make sure you show the flow of which way the water is going. So on, chemicals, you can label all your pipes, where it's going to, what it contains, for safety. Again, just feel free to pause and read. Air system, same way. You got your filter regulator, lubricant, FRLs. So if you have like a contractor, want to make sure they're doing their job right. Go behind them and make sure they have everything set up in the right direction. What else we got here? You got labels again, where it's going to. In your valves, you have your dew point check. So anyway, feel free to read on this way, give you some ideas for airproofing for your facility. Feel free to use it. Doesn't matter to me. You know, it's copyrighted. I have it a while back, so I don't really care. So, facility pumps and motors. You know, you have all your categories for your motors. You know, you want to actually on your facility map, you do a separate one showing all your motors in your plant, what category they are by horsepower and by, you know, the environment they're in, so on. Here you go. There's some more down at the bottom, some more ideas what to do. Equipment modifications. This one, just give you a quick example. This is for epoxy coating. This is epoxy powder hopper. This is for Caltrans, actually, is what brought this on, this one modification here. What it is they're called dowel bars, and you have a big machine called dowel bar inserter. It puts these big old little steel bars, 1.5 inch diameter, 18 inches long, into the roadways. And well, Caltrans is really being particular on the edges, because epoxy, the characteristics of flow away from sharp edges, and they want to make sure it has the best coverage as possible. So we're doing this little study with them, and there was like looked like little metal or what on the corner on the edge, and we cut it up, stuck it underneath the microscope, and sure enough, it was like little metal shavings or something that was stuck underneath the epoxy, and it came from the blast cleaning process and got in there. And so we researched some magnetic separators and stuck it in here in between in the hopper, and as the powder passed through it, it took out all the shavings, and that actually resolved it. And so that was one modification. So now it helps prevent the dowels from rusting inside the bridges and the roadways and your airport runways. What else? Pretty much just anyway, just read on if you want. Here's all your information. Above ground dip tanks, a little combination of OSHA regulations with you know, best quality dipping. Yeah, we had to do like a study here to show our mixing ratio, using Zahn cups, and with our thickness, using wet film thickness gauge, dial it in. That way, whatever material you're using. This is a bond breaker. Again, it goes on. Was this a bond breaker? Or it goes on. It's like a wax. It goes on the dowels, so they move inside the concrete. When you get that thermal contraction, expansion between the slab joints, otherwise the concrete will stick to it and crack the concrete. And you don't want any cracks. So otherwise, they'll be digging it up and charging you for it. So anyway, here's some ideas for an above ground dip tank. Paint boosts. Here's an idea for some paint boosts. Some of the airproofing methods you can try. Even though you have your adjustments on your spray guns, you know, if it says 40 psi, maybe install an airline regular anyway and put it down to 40 psi, and don't rely on the operator to adjust the gun, because that usually never works. So especially because usually it's a new guy that you put on here. So anyway, you pause it if you like. Facility welding. You got your wire feeder, your welders, you know, your parameters are set, and write your parameters on the machine. You can label them or what. Mark out. I don't see my gas flow on here. So there's your gas flow meters too. You can mark out with your floaty ball the right position for the flow for your shielding gas and so on. Here's another Trim Masters. This was a little sheet we had there, a weld map outlining where all of our welds go. You know, I don't know, it's been so long since I've used it, and I don't think it'd be a problem to show it here. But anyway, just read on and pause if you like. Conveyors. Big help here is Keyence. These guys, they actually will come and do a free demo. They're sales engineers, I believe they call themselves now. Gosh, there's so many of the guys we talk. They each are specialized in something different. One's in safety, one's in airproofing, one's in I don't remember exactly all their titles, but I mean, they got cameras, they got sensors for everything, and you'll always find some way to use it in your applications. So feel free to pick up some ideas here. Call your local reps, even other companies that make sensors as well, and have them come do a demo for you. Environmental forecasting. This is to save you some money. You know, when the temperatures drop certain times of the year, so you can reduce your temperature controls, increase your temperature controls again. You got all this time frame within here. You can actually save some money. So some ideas for you. This is just for training to eliminate as much error as possible. Make it very easy to follow. This is the same thing as the work point sheets, SOPs. You know, just make them where, I mean, it's kind of easy to follow, I guess, is the way to put it. It's another one, just for instructions, give you some ideas. You can outline, you know, do your screenshots here, and then put the numbers, what each one does, and what to do. And in a panic, you always want to have it as easy as possible, because somebody's panicking, they're trying to look at the controls, and they're kind of new at the station. You don't want them really messing it up or making it worse. So, again, here's another one. This is just a little cartoon image of the entire panel itself. Actually, this is all done in Excel, Microsoft Excel, and use that image bevel or whatever to kind of give it that look. There you go. Andons, this actually falls under weighting. Again, under the 7 ways or 8. Forgot, you know, the employee utilizing employee resources or skills is number 8 in there now. So anyway, this is TrimMaster, something we had there. These were workstation andons. This actually, Johnson Controls had the workstation andons that were pretty popular. They made a really real annoying noise whenever they pulled the cord. Johnson Controls has some really good downtime activities as well. Whenever they do their 5S and everything else, well outlined, which I'll talk about in another one when I talk more about lean. But another airproofing one for downtime. You have a switch, you put it on material handler, maintenance, or supervisor, then hit on, light goes on. Actually, I'll go on the next one, but here's outlines what it does. Next one is the main one. This is the one where it lights up. You have these boards around the plant, usually in main aisleways, and then it'll light up what machine is down, and it will play a certain music. The music relates to either some material handler, maintenance, or supervisor, and they know if it's that particular music, that's who needs to go over there. And you can see what cell it is, what line, and if you're the mechanic assigned to that area, then you can go over there and hurry up and get on it. That's about it. So I'm going to stop this.